Incredible greetings. Technically, this is live on a Sunday. So, incredible Sunday, incredible afternoon. How are you guys doing? All right. As you can see from the screen, we are going to go over print settings, specifically for sublimation when using an Epson Workforce 7820, 7840, 7310, and C-7000 printer. These are the newer Workforce printers that can be switched over, like can be used for sublimation. However, these settings really can apply to pretty much any printer, whether you are using an eco tank, if you're still using the old Workforce. The only difference is, a few settings. So because I just set up a Workforce 7820 and I'm going to do some prints today, I really need to actually set it up to print out my roll paper and have that preset already done. So that's what I'm going to go over. And since, of course, I do educational stuff, we're going to go ahead and share that with you guys. That way, as I'm setting up my printer, I'm able to take care of two tasks at one time, setting up my printer and also sharing with you guys these settings that I recommend. Okay, so just give me 1 second. Alrighty, if you are watching this live, be sure to go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and also drop a comment. Let me know who's watching, where you are watching from. If you're watching the playback of this, give this video a thumbs up. You can do the same thing. Just say hi in the comment section, as well as hit share on this. All right. And don't forget to subscribe if you're watching over on YouTube. Hit the bell so that you are notified whenever I release content. Set it to see all. And if you're watching over on Facebook, be sure to follow us and turn your notifications to default or see first. There we go. Alrighty. Turn your notification default to see first. There we go. I'm like, I don't know what was going on with my head. All right. So I'm just going to share this out real quick. And then we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, there we go. All right. As I mentioned before, I just set up a Workforce 7820 printer, which I'm liking a little better. I think it's not so much the 7720 that I don't like. I think there's something wrong with the print head. So as of right now, my 7820 is going to be my go-to. Well, actually my 7840. But for now, until I give this one away, my 7820 is going to be my go-to. So we're going to go ahead and set that up. I need to do some printing on our sublimation paper rolls. If you don't know, with these printers, you can print up to 47.24 inches long, no matter which printer you have. So you can use the roll sublimation paper. We have that paper on our website, shop.hsink365.com. If you just scroll down to where it says change the game sublimation paper and click on there, it's going to take you to the collection, and here are the sublimation paper rolls. I do believe we are out of 8.5 by 8.5 by 300 feet. Yes. So those are sold out right now, but the 13-inch and the 24-inch and 100 feet we do have. Of course, the 24-inch is for the F570. These are tacky sheets or tacky paper, not fast dry. But you can use this and cut it down to any size that you want, up to 47 inches. And that's what I'm going to set mine up for. All right. So again, that's shop.hsink365.com. So I'm going to go, and of course, I'm going to do my settings from Silhouette Studio. However, you're going to see from the screenshots that you can apply these settings to, like, no matter what program you're using. You just have to make sure that you click on the right icon in order to get to the preferences, the correct preferences page. Also, in order to see these preferences, you must install your drivers. You must install your drivers. So you're going to do a Google search for whatever printer you have. So if it's an Epson Workforce 7840, 7820, 7310, Workforce EcoTank 16600, 4700, 2850, 2803, whichever it is, you're going to put that in and print drivers. Once you do that, it's going to basically take you to the support page on the Epson website for those drivers. Make sure that you are going to the Epson site and not a site for someone else. So you're looking for Epson.com. Like, see, this one says printersme.com, not that one. Go right to the Epson website. Once you're on there, you're going to go over to downloads, and you're going to download either just the utilities. I mean, there's the drivers, utilities, or you can just do the combo installer, and you can bypass like the fax stuff if you're using the all-in-one. But you must download and install these drivers. You're going to choose what type of printer, what type of system you have. So whether it is, did I do the right one last time? I don't even know. So Windows 11, I got to go back and look at my video when I did mine. I'm not sure if I did the right one. But select which one, and then you're going to download that, okay? All right. So once you have that done, once you go over to your print settings, I just realized I forgot to send myself something. Okay, we're going to go through this, and for those who are watching on TikTok, it's going to kind of go out for just a second because I forgot to send myself the images from the printer. All right, so let me do that, and it'll give you guys time to come in, share it out, and also give this video a thumbs up. Give me 1 second, guys, because I totally forgot to send myself certain pictures. Hold on. Okay, we are back. All right, sent those to myself real quick so I can pull those on the screen because there are things on the printer that you will need to adjust as well that can help with your print settings. So now I'm going to go over to Silhouette Studio. That is my program of choice, but like I said, these settings will work from any software that you choose to use for your printing. All right, to get to those, you're going to go to print. So from here, whether you click on the actual printer icon, or if you go Control P, to be able to get to it, you're just going to go to your print settings. If you are using Silhouette Studio version 4.4, you are going to see a print preview screen. Ignore that print preview screen. That's not your actual print out. Hit print. It is not going to go automatically to the printer. It is going to open up this particular page in the software. Okay, so you're going to click print preview comes up, hit print, and then you'll get to the proper settings. I didn't do screenshots for Cricut Design Space. I'll do a separate video for that one. All right, so now you're going to go into preferences. Okay, so preferences, and I do have slides here to make it where it's a little bit bigger for you guys that are watching over on YouTube and Facebook. So we're going to go here and you're going to click on preferences. So there's also like a slider. You want to find your printer. You may end up seeing two versions of the printer when you go to the settings. So if I scroll, I think there should be another 7820 on here somewhere. Or see, it says 7820 series. If I go to this one and I hit preferences, it is going to give me this. This is not what you want. You do not want these settings. You're not going to have, it's not going to open up all of the available settings for you to customize it to minimize pinwheels, slow down your printing, and all of that. So you do not want this. We're going to go ahead and cancel that. For mine, it says network, but I'm also going to go in and change this one so I know exactly which one it is and delete the other one, but not on this video. So we're going to click on that one and we're going to go to preferences. So preferences. And then your next one is going to be, here's your main screen. As you can see over on Facebook and YouTube, I have a lot of presets. I see a lot of things there. However, on my actual computer, we don't have that because I've already hidden it, but I'm going to show you what that is. Here are my actual recommended settings. Where it says document size, you're going to choose the size paper that you're going to use. So you have all of these standard sizes here, and then you're going to see user defined, which we're going to go over in a moment. I'm going to just for now come up to, let's just do, you have 8.5 by 11. I'm going to go to 8.5 by 14. All right. So you're going to select your size. Do not choose borderless for your printing unless, if you're going to piece it together, don't choose borderless. What borderless does is it actually stretches out your image. It doesn't print it as is. Now, you can choose to do that one. You may end up getting ink and stuff inside your well. I don't recommend doing the borderless. You have a really, really thin outline, margin on these printers, and it's only 0.125 all the way around. So I personally don't recommend that you use borderless. And then you're going to choose portrait or landscape, depending on what, how your design is set up. For paper type, you do not need to use a lot of ink, guys, for sublimation. Well, actually, I can't speak for all papers. I will say that for, honestly speaking, sublimation paper available on shop.hsink365.com, you do not have to use premium presentation paper matte or premium matte or any of those. Those take up and use a lot of ink. And especially with the newer workforce printers where you have to change out the chips, you don't want to just waste ink. So using this printer, our settings, and combining with our paper that has amazing ink release with just the plain paper setting, and in just 30 seconds, you're going to save yourself a lot of money with the ink, the chip replacement. So my recommended settings is plain paper, bright white. So you're going to select that one. Not high quality plain paper or anything like that. Plain paper, bright white. You're going to set your quality to high. Then you're going to come down to where it says quiet mode, and you're going to turn that on. If you are new to this and you let's say you've been getting some, your prints aren't coming out quite right and they're the wrong orientation, what you can do is turn on your print preview. Your print preview will show you exactly how it's going to print out, and then you hit print from there. All right. Once you've done that, you're going to go over to more options. Now, let's say you are not using, honestly speaking, sublimation paper, and you're using a different brand, and you find that plain paper just does not work for you. You can use premium matte or presentation matte. I don't recommend premium presentation paper matte for the newer printers because they have two settings, and the premium one really puts down way too much ink. This is where you're going to get a lot of those pinwheels. So presentation paper matte, which is the last one, can be used. All right. What you'll notice is with this one, and you go to premium matte, I recommend that you leave it to standard. High just puts down too much ink that you don't need. Because of how sublimation works, you don't need a lot of ink. So you can set it to standard. That is my recommendation, is to leave it at standard. You'll notice that quiet mode is set to off, and it's actually grayed out, and you cannot select it. Why? Because this print setting naturally is slowing down and it prints slower because it's putting down more ink. So it is natural. So you're not going to be able to choose quiet mode or to turn it off. So I'm going to go back up here, go high, and then on. All right, then you're going to go over to more options. Under more options, make sure that it says same as document size, and also do not check reduce enlarge document, and do not check fit to page or zoom in. Your image will kind of shrink. It's not going to be the right size, especially if it needs to be for an exact template. Do not use reduce enlarge document. No fit to page, no scaling or anything like that. Then for color correction, I've done a bunch of testing, what works best for me, and it's my recommendation. I use custom, and then we're going to go over to advanced, and we're going to go to those settings. But before we go there, down here, you can leave bidirectional on or off. I find that it really, in the way it's set up, how I set mine up, it really does not make a big difference. It really, really does not. But of course, you do want to mirror for traditional sublimation. If you're doing sublimation to easy subli, or actually no, not those. If you're going to print, not easy subli. If you're going to print to go underneath glass, that's what I meant to say. Those you don't mirror the settings. Also, no, I'm sorry. If you're going to do easy subli, you also do not mirror the settings. If you're going to do a print and cut of your design, you do not mirror in the print settings. You mirror in the program. So you can create a preset that does not have mirror, and you can label that as for glass or for print and cut. All right. So you want to have those set. Then you're going to click on advanced. From here, color controls, it'll say Epson Vivid. You click on that drop down and you make it Adobe RGB. And I use Gamma 1.8. For me, 2.2 is way too dark. You don't have to change anything here when it comes to like the workforce printers. I don't adjust brightness, contrast, saturation, density, or anything like that from here. All right. And then you're going to click OK. And we're going to go over to maintenance. So once you're over here in maintenance, you're going to click on extended settings. You want to make sure that you check thick paper and envelope. You can leave the allow application perform ICM color matching from Silhouette Studio. It doesn't really matter, but these settings are going to be the same no matter what program or application you print from. So if you are someone that's using Photoshop, Illustrator, Corel, Draw, Affinity, Photo, Affinity Designer, Inkscape, like anything where you can put in a customized profile, you want to have that checked. So just go ahead and just leave that. And reduce packet print packet data size. It doesn't. I have not found that it does anything like major as far as anything, but I just leave it kind of on. That's why it's circled. That's one of those things where you can turn it on or off. It's not going to really affect it too much. The print density. If you start to experience an excessive amount, or like it's always happening as far as pinwheels, or as some of you guys call it, pizza wheels, you can adjust your print density down so that it's putting down less ink. The concentration of ink is less, and that will allow it to dry a little, like dry faster, and not have the pinwheels. I have it dry before it reaches the pinwheels inside the printer. For the most part, for me, I will have mine either at like -5 or -10 with printing on fast dry, using this settings on my older one. Now, this one I have not had to change it. On 0, it was actually just fine. But you can leave it at like -10, -5 if you are experiencing pinwheels. If you are using premium presentation paper matte or premium or presentation paper matte, you may need to take your density down a lot because those settings naturally puts down a lot of ink. So if you're experiencing pinwheels with that setting, you're going to take it down to -25. You can just keep going, do test prints. So you may want to do -15, -18, -20, -25, so you'll go until you find the correct one that works for you. All right. Then you're going to go ahead and hit OK. And we're going to go back to main because we're going to now do the presets. So those are the settings that I recommend. So now we're going to go over to add or remove presets. All of mine are grayed out, but what you will do is I'm going to actually show this one. I'm going to go show. So you're going to click on all of these settings, which you're not using it as a regular printer. You're not going to really ever use these settings. You don't need to do double-sided printing when it comes to a to sublimation. Now, if you happen to have two of the exact same printer and you want to keep some of these settings, you can leave them and then just use the arrows to push your settings up past that. Or just hide them all and make your own presets for your regular print, like photo glossy or premium matte. All right. So I'm just going to go on here and hide them all. You're going to look at what it says is like current settings and register settings. Make sure that your current settings is everything that you want it to say. So like right now I'm on 8.5 by 14, borderless off, mirror, like all that. So I'm going to come up here to my 8.5 by 11 because I already have that. And it's my sublimation and it's -10. You label this however you want it to be. All right, so you label it however you want the names to be. So for me, I'm going to go up here and I'm going to just change out the 1 to 4. And you can have it be the same icon, or you can switch it. So that way, like, okay, these are my 8.5 by 11 settings. If you're going to do mirror off, these are my 8.5 by 14 settings. These are this setting, da, 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 da. So you can choose to do it that way. I'm just going to make this one blue. And then we're going to hit save. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and close it. The only thing that I'm going to change is going to be my document size to 11 by 17. I'm going to go add or remove presets. Click on one of these. It doesn't matter which one. Change the name to 11 by 17. That way it defaults to that particular setting. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to close out. We're going to come back up here again, and we're going to choose Super B, which is 13 by 19. I'm going to go add or remove presets. I forgot to change my icon. That's okay. So I'm going to go here and then go 13 by 19, which on auto, it automatically goes to your rear feed. With the newer workforce printers, you cannot print from the front tray. Like you can't print 13-inch paper from the front tray. It's going to automatically default to the rear feed, which is also called paper tray. The tray in the front is called a cassette. It's very confusing. So I'm going to just make that one yellow, and that's supposed to be 13, not 3, and then save. All right. And we can move those up, but once we close it, they're going to be there anyways. Actually, I need to go 11 by 17, add or remove presets, 11 by 17. I'm going to change that one and then save. Overwrite it. Yes. So close. If you want to do settings without the mirror on, we're just going to go 8.5 by 11. We're going to go over here. We're going to turn off the mirror. Or if you want a setting that is for automatic, like if you're using Photoshop, you can make adjustments to your settings. And then we're going to just go add or remove preset. I'm going to click on this one and I'm going to put no mirror. That way it's set just like that. Okay. And we're going to go save. And I can move that up right up under that one, or I can have it where my no mirrors are by themselves. So let's move this one up, move this one up. However, it works in like your brain to remember like which one to click on so that you don't like inadvertently click on the wrong thing is how you can set that up. So we're going to close it. So we're going to come back over here and we're going to go 8.5 by 14. Add a remove preset. I'm going to go 8.5 by 14. No mirror, and save, and so forth and so on. So I'm not going to do like all the rest of them, and we're just going to close. Now, if you are going to use special size paper, i.e. the sublimation paper rolls, you are going to need to change your document size. Okay. To do that, we're going to go to user define. So where it says document size, you're going to click on that and go down to user define. Any settings that you create are going to be up under that. So we're going to go user define. And you'll notice that you can make your sizes anywhere from 2.52 up to 12.95. You can't set it for 13. And as so width, like around like 2.5, and height 5 inches by 47. And you can adjust your trays for those smaller sizes. So that means you can use your scraps and kind of already have a preset. So you may want to make, after you do all of this, and let's say you have like a lot of like 5 by 11 because you cut off the bottom of an 8.5 by, well, that would be 5 by 8.5. So if you have that size and you have a lot of scraps, or 6 by 8.5, you can create a preset and then label that preset as scraps, and it will automatically know to adjust to that size. So for the rolls, I have mine set at 12.95 by 47. Even if I'm printing to 36 inches, 24 inches, I still leave it at 47 because I'm going to set my page size in my design program, so it doesn't matter. But for the sake of this and showing you how to do it, I'm going to make one that's going to be 5 by 8.5. And under user define, I'm going to go 5 by 8.5 scrap. Okay. And then we're going to hit save. And that's going to be right there. I also have 8.5 by 11 paper. So we're going to go here. We're going to name it. Oh, wait. Oh, that's actually in the wrong spot. Okay. So I'm going to go here and I'm actually going to do my 8.5. So still 47. I'm going to go 8.5 and then up here, HS Ink 8.5 inch sublimation roll and then save. So now that's on there and we're going to hit OK. So now I need to set the preset for that one. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to do my 13-inch roll. And everything else is going to remain the same. So I'm going to just make sure that, okay, so I have to change my mirror because I took that off, but everything else stays the same. Because it is tacky, I do find that I do have to adjust my density down some. So I'm going to make this negative, we could do -10, -15. I just did it and it actually worked at -10, but you can make this whatever you want. Just for the sake of this video, I'm going to make it -15 so that you can see there's just a difference. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. We're going to come back to main. We're going to go add or remove presets, and we're going to make this HS Ink 13-inch roll. And then you'll choose an icon for this one. I just want to choose a different one. I'm just going to choose like this picture. I don't know why. I'm just going to choose a different one and then save. So now that is there. Close. We're going to come here, make this 8.5. And then we're going to go add and say auto remove presets. I'm going to go down here and make this 8.5. And then save, close. So now all of my settings are there. So now that I want to go print my, for the roll, if you want, like this is one to where you would have to tell it where you want it to go to, whether or not you want to just do auto select or if you want it to go to the tray or the cassette. I personally, like on all my other printers, I normally print from the tray, but you can have it go to either one. So you can like make it where it defaults to go to the tray instead of auto select. So you would just change that and go from there. All right. So that's that. And that's how you set it up just in general. Now, if you are using a different program, I have a few slides here, which let's see, can I pull them up? Well, I'll just come over here and we're going to go file, print, and once we're here, you will make sure you choose the printer that you're going to use and you're going to click on print settings. Also, make sure that I personally use Epson IJ printer 07. So I just use the standard Epson color profile. I don't use anything different. And once you get print settings, you're going to come to the settings there. So you can either do the same thing I just did. If you use Photoshop, Illustrator, any of those, you can do the same thing I did while in this screen. Same thing's going to come up. And you go through the same process. Okay. Now, from Photoshop, though, you can, because of the way Photoshop is, you may not always have to use like Adobe RGB 1.8. I recommend printing out images, label them like both to see which one works better for you, but you can use automatic. So if you wanted to create a preset for this with automatic, you can do that as well. So I'm just going to choose 8.5 here instead of custom. I'm just going to come to automatic. We're going to go add or move preset. I'm going to go 8.5 by 11 sublimation auto color. Okay. And we can just give that a different icon just so that we know that it's the auto color one. You can put on there Photoshop. So I'm just going to put auto color for Photoshop. And then save. So now I have that one if I'm going to print from, oh wait, you guys can't see this. If I'm going to print from Photoshop, but everything else is exactly the same. That's just where you go to get that one. Okay. If you are using a program such as Word, once you are, okay, wait, let's see. Let's go. I'm going to pull this onto this screen. All right, come on. All right, we're going to go Control P to bring up my print settings. You're going to click where it says printer properties. You can note what's here, but this will somewhat change based off of what you put in your print properties. The default is a 1-inch margin, but I'll show you how to change that as well. But you'll click on printer properties. Of course, make sure you choose the right printer. And that is going to pull up the exact same settings that we saw before. Okay. And then you would do the same thing from here as far as choosing them, setting your presets. If you want to change your margins, you can click where it says margins, and then you're going to have like last custom setting. I already did mine. So you would just go to custom margins, and then here is where you would change them to 0.125, which is like the standard for the Epson printers. So 0.125, that's like the smallest like the smallest margin without having borderless printing. All right. And then you can hit OK. And that would be like that. And you can save it and it'll be there like as a drop down for that one. So that's how you do it from Word. So those are all of the print settings that I recommend and excuse me, how I set them up from like any program. And I use those settings no matter what program I am printing from. When you do the presets, it just makes your life so much easier because you can click on the one that you want. And like I said, if you have the exact same printer, but you have regular ink in it, or you may have eco solvent ink in it, or if you have like two 8550s and one is DTF and one is sublimation or a regular printer, you will still see all of those settings because it all works from one driver. So you're going to see all of those settings here, which is why it is important to do your presets and label it for sublimation or eco solvent or DTF and things like that. But that's the settings that I use for sublimation printing. All right. Hope if you are a Mac user, as you can see, this is from a Windows PC. I do have a video for Mac, and it's not for a 7840. I'm not going to probably set my husband's Mac up to this 7820 or 7840, but everything else is basically the same. I only did this because I just set this one up and I needed to do my own presets. But if you have a Mac, search on Honestly Speaking's YouTube channel so you'll search Honestly Speaking, SPINKING, Mac settings, and you will see those. All right. So now that we've taken care of the program, like from the computer, there are some settings that you need to be mindful of from your from the printer itself. Okay. So there are some settings to be mindful of from the printer itself. So we're going to pull this over here. Wait, I think I have this in the wrong order. So we're going to go. All right, there we go. So you're going to go to settings, and then you're going to go to printer settings. So you're going to go settings, and then you're going to go to general settings. I'm sorry. And then printer settings. Settings. What did I say? General, and then printer settings. Thick paper and envelope, you want to change that to on. Quiet mode, you want to change that to on. All right, so you're going to turn that on, and you'll see that it tells you reduces the operating noise. The print speed may be slower. This is actually where you slow down your print speed. So just turning off bidirectional does not affect the speed. All that does is, instead of it printing right to left and left to right and putting down ink in both directions, it only prints out, it puts down ink from right to left. Then it'll go back and it'll put down ink right to left. But that doesn't slow down the printing. Quiet mode is what slows it down. All right. From there, so you see thick paper on, quiet mode on. Ink drying time is naturally set to standard. If you don't have an issue with it, you can leave it at standard. Mac users, you actually can adjust this in your settings, like in your actual settings. And its numbers like negative, like it goes from 0 to like negative 30. You can have to play around with it. So ink standard, meaning drying time, is normally standard, but you can change that. Wait, wrong slide. You can change that to long or longer. So if you find that you're having an issue with pinwheels like really, really bad, you can make it where your drying time is longer, and it'll print a little bit slower to kind of give you more time for it to dry. All right. Bidirectional, I normally just kind of leave it on. With these printers, the tray automatically comes out. You can turn that off if you want. And I think that's all the ones for like print settings. Because yeah, this is like paper sources, and this is for a different video. Let me look at my print counter. This is your supply status. But there is one more on here. As far as changing the name. There we go. So you can go in and actually change the name of your printer. So that's that. So hopefully this video does help with you guys getting the best possible print settings for your sub prints. This is specifically for sublimation. I will do another in case you are someone that's using it for regular printing. Almost the same, but a little bit different. So if you're using it for regular printing, I cannot say if you're using it for eco solvent, what's the best settings, because I don't use mine. So I don't know if, you need to put down only a little bit of ink versus a lot of ink when it comes to converted eco solvent printers. So I can never give you a video for those settings, but for regular printing on matte paper, glossy paper, I will have a video for that. All right. Be sure to subscribe to our be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channels. If you are watching this live over on Soloholics Anonymous, this video, I just did it so that it kind of went out to everyone. However, this video will be on Honestly Speaking's page if you want to be able to go back, or channel if you want to be able to go back and watch it. Okay, so it will be on Honestly Speaking's YouTube channel. And you can go back and watch the playback if you miss anything. Also, don't forget to visit our website, shop.hsink365.com. That is where you're going to find your sublimation ink, sublimation paper, the Honestly Speaking brand sublimation paper, your chip resetters, your replacement chips. You can sign up for my classes there as well. All right, guys. Thank you so very much for joining me. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible.